Yeah. Is the Average Brentwood Teen?
From the Brentwood Public Library.
A place where we discuss life as a teen, pop culture, and anything else that pops to our heads, you heard?
Yeah, boy!
Yeah.
Welcome to a special episode of Average Brentwood Teens. Our guest today is a Brentwood High School graduate, a former vice principal at East Middle School. She became a Suffolk County legislator in 2013, and last fall she was elected state senator. Today, we welcome Miss Monica Martinez to the Average Brentwood Teens. Hi, Monica, and thanks for being here with us.
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me.
Okay, so we have like a couple of questions to ask you, so I'll go first. So, for our first question for today is, your birthday is on August 13th, which makes you a Leo. I'm going to read some Leo traits and let us know if these fit your personality. Warm, action-oriented, driven by desire to be loved and admired, energetic, optimistic, headstrong, arrogant, and impatient. Do you think that
I'm definitely not arrogant. Okay. I can tell you that. I am not arrogant, but I am definitely passionate. I am energetic. I love helping people, which is another trait of a Leo. Part of it is being centered, being like the center of attention. I do not like that, believe it or not. Being in political office, I don't like the attention completely on me, but it's pretty much right on.
Oh, okay.
I am definitely a true Leo.
Oh, I'm an Aries.
Stubborn.
So. All right, go ahead. Sorry.
Next question. You were born in El Salvador. Do you have any memories of your country, and do you still have family there?
I was, and I used to travel to El Salvador when I was a kid. I used to go visit my grandmothers every summer. I would go. Those are my biggest and most favorable memories, as well as Pollo Campero, which is one of the best drinks I've ever had. And of course, the grapefruit of mango, and they put ayahuasca and lemon and hot sauce. I don't know if you even know what that is, but it was delicious.
Wow. Go ahead, Dom.
What challenges did your family face as immigrants to this country?
The biggest challenge at first was the language barrier and just trying to navigate the whole system, which made my parents go to school, learn the English language, so then they can then defend their children. That's really, and for me as an immigrant child, it wasn't that difficult because I came at the age of 3. So I was pretty much here from then on. So the assimilation for me was very easy.
Which schools did you attend in Brentwood?
I only attended Ross High School and graduated from Ross. Are any of you Ross kids?
Yeah, I'm one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm from Sando, but it's okay.
Well, for the record, I taught in Sando, so.
Oh, okay.
Okay. that lifts my spirits now.
What are your best memories growing up in Brentwood? Have you noticed the community change since you were growing up here?
There's definitely been change. I think our community has become more empowered, more engaged. I think we realize that we deserve the same thing that other school districts have and other communities have. And I think you as children, as young adults, have definitely made that possible too. You have taken a stance. That Brentwood is a great district. And we have going to great schools, and I'm sure all of you are going to be successful. And those are the stories that we need to tell. I know we hear some bad things that happen in Brentwood. It's a very small percentage, but that's what makes the media, right? But what you do in terms of positive needs to get out there more. And as elected officials, as school officials, we need to make that happen more. My memories about Brentwood open my eyes to diversity. And the reason why I say that is, like I told you before, I went to Ross, but I grew up in Nassau County. And Nassau County, I was one of 5 Latinos in the entire district. Okay, so I grew up really within the Jewish community, the Caucasian affluent area. So when I came to Brentwood, it was a complete culture shock. But I got to meet people that actually looked like me. And that definitely opened the doors to more opportunities.
Where did you go to college? Do you have any advice for high school students considering where to go to college and what to study?
I went to Binghamton University. I went to Binghamton as believe it or not, as a bio major. Life happened, and I ended up becoming a history major, which is why I taught history when I was in Brentwood. What I would suggest to you in looking into colleges is first go to a college where you'll learn liberal arts first, right? Where you're going to save money because your first couple of years are just based on getting the original classes out of the way. You know, your microeconomics, your liberal classes, your English, your this, your that. So I would recommend going to a school that's not too expensive yet, and then you can transfer over to something else that's really going to focus on the career that you're going for. And that would be my advice to you. It is expensive, so just make sure that whatever school you're going to is a school that you choose because that's a career path you want to take, so you don't spend double the money later on. And talk to your guidance counselors too. Make them work.
What are some of the things you miss about being a teacher and a principal?
As a teacher, I miss teaching my subject matter. I miss teaching social studies. I miss teaching the students because I love that topic, that history, and I used to make it come alive. And what I mean by that, I was very hands-on. So whenever I had a fun subject that the students may not have thought it was fun, but I made it fun. And I made it where students would learn and remember that lesson forever. So that's the part I miss. As an assistant principal, I miss just being around the kids because I was in middle school and I really enjoyed that age. And the teachers. I do not miss suspending kids. I do not miss calling mom and dad and saying your kid just did that. So that's, I do miss just the good times.
What drew you to a career in politics?
Believe it or not, even remember I was a history major, and I always thought politics I would do later on in life. I didn't think I would do it so early on in how I did it. But the person who was in there before me as a county legislator, I felt was not doing right by my community. I actually went to this person for help as a teacher, and I never got any response. And at that moment, an opportunity presented itself where no one really liked him, and that's when I took it. That's where I took the leap of faith and ran and got elected.
Do you identify as a feminist?
I believe that women should be treated equal to men. I believe that we are already at a time where women are still making less than men in the same type of line of work, and I don't think that's fair. I think women have always been the last to catch up to men in general, and actually women of color have it worse. And that's something that we need to really work on. We need to let women come to at least some equal part with men today.
Can you talk about your commitment to animal rights?
Come on. So in case you didn't know, they created a whole committee for me up at the state Senate, and it's called the domestic welfare. It's a domestic animal welfare. And I'm the chair of it. And because as a county legislator, I've really been a champion in animal rights. And not only because animals are defenseless, but if any of you have animals at home, you know that all they want is for you to love them and play with them and feed them, right? But what people don't realize is that a lot of your crimes that are committed on animals usually end up being committed on humans. And when people start abusing animals, there's a correlation of animal abuse and crime, and it's also a violation of human rights. Of a person. Many women who are victims of domestic violence, they use the pet as leverage. A woman usually does not leave the relationship because their partner is threatening to kill their pet, and they rather stay in the relationship instead of giving, instead of giving up the pet or having the pet hurt, So I think people need to start making that correlation between animal abuse and crime, because if you've noticed also a lot of your drug rings or a lot of your dogfighting rings are usually based around drugs. And if you start looking at it that way, you can see that there's a correlation, and you can start fighting crime as well as protecting animals.
Has gang violence affected you or your family? How are you working to end gang violence in Brentwood?
So when the murders happened, remember of the two girls? Mm-hmm. Okay. And those were my students. I had them both as an administrator. And I would get threatened messages at my office because I was helping in terms of making our community safe. And so I don't think my family directly was affected, but I received threatening messages And I had to be, my office had to become a checkpoint. We secured our office. It became stronger where we had to protect our windows. We had to protect our entrances just in the event that somebody would come into my office. There would be patrolmen always going around my office, making sure that we were safe. So that's how it affected me. But because it affected me, it also affected my family because they were worried about me. And in terms of gang violence, and I've been working with the county executive, with governor, we are putting money into Brentwood. We're putting money into our schools. We're putting money into organizations that work with kids. Because when you look at a child who's become involved in gang violence, it's because they have really nothing else to do. And or parents are working multiple jobs sometimes, or sometimes they feel that they don't belong somewhere. So we need to find a place where everyone can go and feel that they are a part of something and not a part of something bad.
What are your goals in your new position as state senator? How are you going to work with the state government to make Brentwood a better place?
So same thing. I already started working with the with the state as a county legislator, and it's going to be the same thing. It's just bringing money into the district, having programs for students, not just high schoolers, but elementary, middle school. At the county legislator, we had 3 summer camps. I hope that continues while I'm not there as a county legislator. But I think it's important that we need to keep our children engaged. Once you keep them engaged, they're busy and they have something to do. But those are my priorities, is to continue what I started at the county and bring it up to the state by bringing funding home.
Would you ever want to be president?
No. Too much. I mean, look, I have to deal with the state. Imagine dealing with 49 other ones. I don't know.
Okay, so we have a lightning round. It's going to be quick fire questions, and let's see what happens. Go ahead, Nicole.
Oh, boy.
Do you have any secret talents?
I don't think so. If they are secret, they're secret to me.
Okay.
Meaning I still don't know what they are.
Oh, okay. Good.
What is your dream non-traditional pet?
My dream I would definitely go for a lion.
I like that.
Because she's a Leo.
Yeah.
Oh, that's why it makes so much sense.
There you go. Good job.
Go ahead, Avril.
This is an important question. Yankees or Mets?
Yankees.
Let's go.
Thank you.
Let's go.
It's a team that actually plays good.
Oh, boy. As long as no one says Red Sox, I'm okay.
Yeah. What is the last book you read?
I can't remember the last one I read, but I'm still on Blood on the Tracks. And it's a really good book. It's about a Marine that comes back from war and takes on a job as a railroad security. And a murder happens on the railroad tracks, and we're still trying to figure out who committed the crime.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite weird food combination?
I'm going to tell you a secret of mine. Okay, that not too many people know unless you eat with me. But I don't like my food touching.
Crazy.
So that means that each type of, like, if I'm having chicken, the chicken cannot be touching my potatoes or can't be touching my salad. Only if the food is supposed to come together, like a sandwich, then I can do that. But if I'm having a meal that has vegetables and it has potatoes, everything has to be separate. It cannot touch.
So what about rice and beans?
I don't like rice nor beans.
Whoa.
Sorry.
Andreas is offended.
Hold on, Miss Monica. This is a quick question. Now, I just want your opinion on if this sounds gross or not. What about potatoes and raisins?
You mean mashed potatoes? And
Mashed potatoes and raisins?
Mashed potatoes and raisins?
Yeah, it's the best
sounds
combination
disgusting.
ever. I have all the time.
I have never had mashed potatoes and raisins together.
Does that
Sorry.
sound disgusting?
All right.
Okay, all right.
Should I try it?
Yeah.
No, don't do it.
Don't.
Okay, good.
Describe your worst haircut.
So I have straight hair. You can't really mess my hair up. But I will tell you, I had the worst eyebrow waxing experience.
Oh.
They chopped off one of my eyebrows and I had no eyebrow.
Oh, no.
Oh, my God.
But yeah.
I had a similar experience.
It was correct.
Petition, instead of, she left one brow hole and the other one half lengthwise.
Yeah, that's what she did. And mine was like practically gone. And I really don't have, as you can see, as much. like you do, which you have nice eyebrows, by the way.
Thank you so
But
much.
mine, yeah. And she left me practically with nothing.
Wow.
Guys, okay. Which house would you be sorted into Hogwarts?
Gryffindor.
Hey!
How did you get that right?
I told you. Because he's a Leo, you see?
Yeah, come on. We're courageous in that house. We're daring. Come on.
Who is your favorite superhero?
Have you ever seen the movie Maleficent?
Maleficent. Yes.
Oh yeah.
That's my favorite. I'm her.
Okay.
Okay.
Wait, I have a question. So like, do you watch Marvel or anything?
I've watched a couple, not all.
Like, do you also watch DC sometimes?
No.
No?
Aw.
Okay.
It's because Marvel's better.
Are they superheroes that go against each other?
No,
They're
different
two
companies.
separate companies.
Different companies.
It's two separate franchises, and there's an argument about which is better, the Marvel franchise, or the DC franchise.
Which is Superman, Batman, and then you got Iron Man and etc.
Captain America.
Marvel's like Iron Man, Captain America, and DC is Batman and Superman.
Where's Hugh Jackman in there?
Oh, that's
Marvel.
Marvel.
Then I'm taking Marvel.
Oh,
so let's go.
Who makes the best sandwiches in Brentwood?
Well, they're not in Brentwood, but everybody uses them, and that's Chubby's.
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 Oh, no. I thought you were gonna say La Cubanita.
Me too.
No, so you know what Chubby's is? It's where the mini golf is. Heartland.
Oh, now I gotta go check it out. Look at that.
You gotta check it out. They have the best chicken salad too.
Okay.
Oh, and that one has raisins. Try that.
Go ahead, Nicole.
What is your go-to karaoke song?
Don't Stop Believing by Journey.
Yes.
Don't stop believing.
The last question. Who wants
Now, who wants to do the last question? Because I'm willing to do it.
May I?
You want to do it together?
I want it. All right.
All right. 3, 2, 1.
Is water wet?
It depends.
No.
Oh,
no.
yes, she said
No.
it depends. Okay, go.
It depends on what consistencies it's in.
Okay, let's say you're at the beach. Is that water wet?
I don't go into the water.
What would you say the water's wet?
Would I say the water's wet? I would say the water is. Well, I think the water's gonna make me be wet. I don't know if the water is wet.
Water?
Water is not.
If you pour water on water, you can't make water wet. You're pouring water on water.
Water is the substance that makes things wet.
Exactly. So if you pour the water on the table.
When you shower, your hair gets wet because of the water.
Water is not something that can become wet. Water is just water.
Exactly. All right, so the question is water wet?
No, it's not. It's just water.
But here's the thing. Water can't be made wet. Exactly the question. You're asking if water can be made wet. That's the question. You're not asking if you can be wet by water.
Okay, so what is damp?
Damp?
That means
Damp.
it's wet.
Exactly. You're still a form of wet.
Semi-wet.
Damp is semi-wet.
So what does the scientists say about this?
If you look it up on Google, they say
I don't
water
believe
isn't
in
wet.
Google. I
Because
think
water
water is
isn't
wet.
wet.
Like, and then if you look on like all these different websites, they all have different reasons on why water.
Water is
isn't wet.
the factor that makes things wet, Shondell.
Oh, whoa.
Is wet.
That's my government right there.
So the molecules that make up the water then make whatever touches it wet.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh.
Therefore,
that
water is not wet.
I was agreeing with you that water isn't wet.
Thank you.
But besides that, we wanted to introduce. We forgot to introduce ourselves. So I'm Andres.
I'm Sean.
Chris.
Avril.
Jade.
Nicole.
Julian.
Amanda.
Esteban.
And we are the Average Brentwood Teens, and we wanted to say,
My name is Michael.
Mike, where'd you come from?
Hi, Michael.
I won't get a chance to talk to you since there's no headphones. I can't hear it right now, but it's a pleasure to meet you.
Thanks. It's a pleasure to meet you.
I'm just gonna explain this now. There's a lot more of us, but oh god, sorry, Ty.
My name is Tyreek, by the way.
There's like an entire group. Sometimes there's different ones. Sometimes it's the same group as always, but like we're like a very large group.
That's great. I actually, first I want to say thank you for having me on.
No.
And thank you for interacting with me. I think you all have a bright future ahead of you, and I wish you all the best. Please know that you have a senator that, even though you may not be mine, I love you dearly, and I want everything that's best for you to actually happen. Know that you can accomplish anything you want as long as you put your heart and soul and everything you got into it. You'll do good things, and always be proud of Brentwood. I am a product of Brentwood. I am proud to be Brentwood, and don't ever forget where you came from, because if you stay humble and you stay kind, you'll do great things in life.
Wow. Thank you so much for having us.
Very inspirational words.
Enjoy. Hopefully, I get to meet you in person one day.
Yeah.
And whatever you need, please know you can always reach out.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so
Have a
much.
great day, guys.
You too.
You too.
Bye.
Now I gotta figure out how to hang up. You know, it's the first time I've ever Skyped.
Really?
Well, that I put together that on my side. So I did this on my own today. I'm very proud of myself.
Nice. We did it.
We did it.
Bye, guys.
Have a wonderful day. Bye.
And then okay, guys. Well, this was a very special episode, and thank you so much for having us.
Very special.
Please subscribe to Average Brentwood Teens
on Spotify,
SoundCloud,
and everywhere else where you can pop into our
podcast. We can edit it.
Go edit it.